Pleasant day to everyone and to the viewers. We are the last group to report, and our discussion is all about cultural sensitivity according to the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, or NCIP. Now, let's begin with the definition of cultural sensitivity. Cultural sensitivity is having an understanding of another person's set of beliefs or values that is attributed to the person's ethnic or racial background. And I am aware that we have different cultures, we have different traditions, we have different beliefs in the Philippines. And these cultures have different history and different story to tell. And we know that sensitivity is um, comes from the root word sense. We have to be sensitive. We have to have a sense of respect and understanding. And so, cultural sensitivity is having an understanding of another person's set of beliefs. We have to be sensitive with other cultures, not just with our culture, but with the other and all cultures we have in the Philippines and of course the world. We have to respect their culture, we have to understand, we have to accept them. And you know the term cultural relativism, where we accept and we understand other culture rather than to be ethnocentric or to have ethnocentrism, where we believe that our culture is superior and more powerful than other culture. We have to be cultural relativism than to be ethnocentric. We have to accept them. We have to understand their culture. We have um to call this, we have to understand and we have to be sensitive with other culture, because this culture came from different history in the past, and it has different story. And as a Filipino, it is our responsibility, it is our part to accept them because it is part of our history in general. And in addition, an individual must be agreeable to modify their behavior to accommodate the other person's cultural beliefs. As ourselves, or we have the responsibility, it is our responsibility, we are accountable to check our behavior, to assess ourselves and evaluate if our behavior and our emotion, our emotions are valid, but our behavior are not. We have to be um what do you call this? We have to be agreeable. We have to understand and analyze our behavior. If this is the best behavior, if this is if this is the correct behavior toward understanding other cultures. And of course, next, let's discuss the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, or the NCIP. This is the agency of the national government of the Philippines, of course, that is responsible for protecting the rights of the indigenous peoples of the Philippines. So the National Commission on the Indigenous Peoples, or NCIP, this is an agency. This is an agency of the government, owned by the government, that is responsible. They are the one that should facilitate and lead in protecting the rights of indigenous peoples wherever there are problems or dilemmas toward the indigenous peoples in the Philippines. They are the one who solve this problem. They are the one who lead in solving and call this facing this kind of dilemma. So they are responsible. They are the one who take care of our indigenous peoples and in the Philippines. So that is my part, and I want you to listen more as my members, as the other group, as the other member of my group will discuss further what is cultural sensitivity, what are the tribes, what are the other culture, what are the types of dances. We are here in the Philippines. So thank you very much for listening.
Now, thank you, previous presenter, for representing those concepts. Now, we arrive at the who are the indigenous people. So, who are they or them? Simply put, indigenous peoples are diverse groups of people who have distinct cultures, languages, and traditional ways of life. They are the original inhabitants of a particular region or country and have retained much of their traditional practices and customs despite the influence of the modern world, the modern society. Next is we present the clothes and dances of the indigenous people. What did they dance back then? What did they wear back then? Now, first, let's take a closer look at the traditional clothing of one of these indigenous groups, the Taboli tribe. The Taboli tribe is located in southern Mindanao and is known for their beautiful and intricate traditional costumes. Its description. Now, the traditional clothing of the Taboli tribe is a rich mixture of embroidery, jewelry, beading, and woven patterns. The female traditional clothes of the Taboli tribe is called the Kegal Taboli, which consists of a blouse called Kegal Bintilas and a skirt called Lewek Tidiong. The beaded belts are called Hilet Lememet. The necklace is called Bekaliu, and the headdress is called the Sawat. So that's for the traditional clothings of the Taboli tribe.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nikki Lyn Bercasio, and I will continue the report of Miss Ordiz. The Daltahao dance, performed by Tiboli people, is a beautiful representation of the Tiboli's connection with nature. The Kadaltahao dance mimics the hopping and flying movements of the Tahao bird and is performed to celebrate the good harvest. This dance is not just a form of entertainment, but also a way for the Tiboli people to express their gratitude for the bounty of nature. It is a celebration of the cycle of life and the interconnectedness of all living things. Now let's move on to the Igorot tribes located in the Cordillera Mountains. The term Igorot was coined from the Old Tagalog word, which means people from the mountains. The Igorots have a rich cultural heritage reflected in their traditional clothing. The male traditional clothing is called the bahag, which serve as a loin cloth to cover the male private part. The female traditional clothing is called tapis, which is wrapped around the waist. Interestingly, in the ancient times, Igorot women did not wear upper garments, but were still highly respected by the Igorot men. Another beautiful example of Igorot culture is the tapik dance, a buntok courtship dance performed by a man and a woman. The dance is accompanied by at least 5 male dancers who provide the music and rhythm.
For the continuation of our discussion, I will be discussing the Ifugao tribes. The Tiwali Ifugao, also known as Kiangan, Ifugao or Gilipanis, are located in the municipality of Kiangan at the southern end of the Ifugao province. They have 15 localities there and 3 dialects. The male traditional clothing of the Ifugao are called wano or G-string. So they have 6 different types of wano to be worn in different occasions, which is the binulan, piniwaan niliha, piniwa, tinanong, wanes, and wano clothing. So the binulan clothing is richer version of wano. The piniwaan niliha, the design of this clothing is the same with piniwa. The designs are both made through dyeing. So the tinanong clothing, it is very simple clothing. It is poor man's G-string made entirely of white cloth. The fifth one is wanes. This clothing has long stripes of hand-woven lined cloth, often with intricate pattern and designs. The sixth one is wano. It is a general term for the Ifugao male lion cloth. And the female traditional clothing of the Ifugao is called tapis. otherwise known as a wrap round skirt. So they have 5 different types of skirts. It is a ginalget, tapis, binayoong, pinagawaan tapis clothing, ampuyo or tolgiki clothing for female, and lamoy. One of the traditional dance of the Ifugao tribes is the Uyaoy or Uyaoy dance. This dance is mostly performed in a wedding festival. So, the Uyaoy dance is very significant traditional dance of the Ifugao people. It is a grand wedding festival dance that also performed in a form of kanao, which is a ritual fest. So, this dance is accompanied by gongs and performed by the affluent to attain the second level of the wealthy class. Um, this dance mimics the mighty animals such as the sakpayahawk, and the purpose of this dance is to reinforce one's social status in the community of the Ifugao people. So, the dance is one of a testament to the Ifugao people's deep connection to their land and their ancestors. It symbolizes the harmony between humans and nature, which is the core belief of the Ifugao tribes.